Hello there. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. I hope you are having a wonderful afternoon. Today I need to put together several centerpieces for a church dinner tonight. These are what we call bubble bowls. They're little round bowls, almost a little fish bowl. The thing I like about this variety, they are called ivy bowls when you order them. I like this variety because it has this lip and it helps to hold my flowers in place. So I have 3 of those bowls filled with fresh water, and I've added just a touch of flower food to the bowls. Next, I'm going to take a hydrangea. Now these are tinted hydrangeas. They're tinted red, and I didn't think they were quite, I don't know, you could see a lot of white on the underside. You could see a lot of that white throughout. So I popped them with a little bit of burgundy flower paint. This is called Design Master Burgundy flower paint. I hit them with a little bit of that color just so that they were a little deeper. I'm going to take my floral knife, I'm going to cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to dip it in Quick Dip. Quick Dip is just a floral solution that helps the flower stay hydrated. I'm going to place that hydrangea right on the top of that bowl. Try to throw my flowers off on the floor. Next I'm going to do, I'm going to do them in just an assembly line. I'm going to do the same thing with each flower. Dip them, and I usually count to about 7. I pull off all the foliage, cut it in an angle, and dip it. And that's just going to help keep those flowers hydrated. Set my Quick Dip to the side. Next I'm going to come in with some solidago. So I'm going to take a stem of solidago. I'm stripping off the foliage. And I'm just tucking it right into that hydrangea. Now yesterday on my video, someone said, well, I can't really see the hydrangea. The hydrangea for me in this type of arrangement is meant strictly to be a base, just kind of a grid. So that's the reason I always use most often use a hydrangea in this type of arrangement, is it's strictly for the base. And this one has such pretty color, it works really well for, to give us a pretty fall color. But sometimes the hydrangeas don't show, and the reason is because really it's just meant for my grid. Next I'm going to come in with some orange carnations. I'm going to take this carnation, I'm going to hold it between my thumb and my forefinger, and it's just kind of sitting right there on top of my fingers. And then I'm going to brush that carnation. Now the reason I am doing that is because it's going to fluff the carnation. And I'm going to show you the difference. See how tight this one is versus this one? It's just because this one hasn't been fluffed and this one has. So the reason you're going to hold that hydrangea between those 2 fingers is if I brushed it like this, I'm very likely going to pop my head off. If I hold it like this, it's going to protect the neck of the flower and the head won't fall off. Next I'm going to use, these are called green dianthus or green trick. Dianthus is in the carnation family. The carnation is in the dianthus family. Green trick dianthus is in the same family as the standard carnation. Now they're so fun. They remind me a lot of the little trees on Dr. Seuss. If you've ever read any of Dr. Seuss's books or watched any of the little cartoons, these little green trick dianthus remind you so much of the Dr. Seuss trees. And they're just a fun little flower and something a little different. Okay, so I have an orange carnation, a green trick dianthus, a red hydrangea, and a couple of stems of solidago. Next, I'm going to take this burgundy colored button mum. And you can see it's just kind of a hodgepodge of flowers. It's a very inexpensive centerpiece. These centerpieces are $20 a piece, so they're not expensive, but they just wanted pretty fall color. And so that's the reason you're seeing kind of a hodgepodge of flowers. But I kind of wanted all this pretty fall colors tucked in. And next we're going to put in a few stems, or a stem of these yellow daisies. Now the wonderful part about these daisies is I can pull off individual stems of flowers because their stems are pretty long, and so they'll work great. And you have lots of insertions into your arrangement just with one stem. So I'm going to take this stem, cut it at an angle and tuck it in. Tuck that right into that hydrangea. And then I'm going to take each individual stem and tuck it here and there in the base. And so you have yellow daisies all the way around in the arrangement. So you can see how it has lots of that autumn color. It has the reds and the burgundies, a little bit of green and a touch of orange. And of course my pretty yellow. All right, we have one more to add some yellow daisies to. And I'm just taking and cutting each little stem of daisies with my little knife. I'm just pulling that end off that daisy, off the end of the stem, cutting it at an angle. All right. Now lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of agonis to these arrangements. So agonis is a feathery foliage. It's a little feathery foliage that is a California grown product, but it's a really pretty feathery foliage. This is all just what was extra left over from some of the larger arrangements. The wonderful thing is that don't throw this away, these little small pieces, because you can use them in smaller arrangements. Now I realize that if you don't do lots of arrangements, like we have lots of arrangements every day, and so we can usually always use these smaller cuttings. If you don't, find a little place to just tuck them in so that you can enjoy them. If nothing else, take them home and enjoy them at home, tucked into a little vase. But try not to throw this away. This can also be used in flowers to wear. Just take them, give them a good trim, and tuck them in a small vase, and you can use them in a day or so in your flowers to wear. That just kind of saves on waste. And I realize that some people would think that might be garbage, but I like to be able to use as much of the product as I can because we paid for it, right? This agonis is some of my favorite. It just makes me so happy. I love the feathery look. I love the color. It's just pretty. So you can see how that agonis just kind of gives you a little bit of movement in the arrangement. you have it. There are our small table centerpieces for a church night dinner that are pretty in fall. You can do something like this very easily with just about anything. But in this fun, they all kind of match, and honestly, it would have been okay if they didn't match, but I find that it's so much easier if you have to make multiples to go ahead and make them all at the same time. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me this afternoon. If you have any questions about floral design or about my little flower shop, I am so happy to answer any of those questions. Just drop it right down below in the comments, and we are happy to try to answer those questions for you. If you like these videos, please be sure to subscribe. You can hit that little bell down below, and it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video up. Guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and we will see you all real soon.